Obviously, in the second half, we let our foot off the gas a little bit defensively. They had 40 points in the paint. They're a huge paint team, just like Orlando is, and we gave up 40 points in the paint. In the second half, we're total 77 points, and while doing that and getting a win, it's a great learning experience, and we know we need to tighten up on that end of the floor because we can score it with the best of them. I mean, they're a really good defensive team because of their length, their switchability, their athleticism, and all that other stuff. But I thought our guys did a really good job trying to share the basketball and make simple plays, make real simple plays throughout the course of the game. A lot of good performances led by Domas, his triple-double. I mean, it's just it seems like it's a common theme after every game that he's getting a triple-double, which is unique, especially for his position. And, even a guy like Dorte coming off the bench. I thought Dorte coming off the bench late. We didn't play him a ton in the second half, and we threw him out there when Domas picked up his fifth foul, I think with 2 minutes to go. And, I mean, he had two big defensive stops, the last one on a contest of Quickly, who's a really good three-point shooter without fouling. And there's a great defensive possession by him. And then Trey coming off the bench, and Trey's been playing extremely well for us on both ends of the floor. He's shooting it at a really, really high clip, and you can't say enough about Malik too in HB. So got performances across the board with seven guys in double figures, and 35 assists on 52% shooting and 50-something% from the three. So great offensive night for us, and good first half defensive night.
Coach, can you Keegan, he just improving in every type of different type of way, but his rebounding.
Yeah.
He seemed to have learned to rebound. I'm not saying around Domantas, but he just know where to be at the right spot. Can you talk about that type of work?
Yeah, Keegan's he's obviously he's worked on his body, and so he's a lot stronger now than what he was last year, and he's starting to understand the league and understand how physical he needs to be able to rebound in traffic. And so for him to get 12 rebounds obviously is a big night, but he can get 8, 9, sometimes 10 rebounds on average, in my opinion, per night, just because of how hard he goes to the glass, how strong he is now, and his continued growth and understanding of what the league is about. So it's not surprising that he notched 12 tonight.
Mike, they're obviously a real talented team. They go on that run late, kind of get back in it. Were you seeing were you okay with what you were seeing from your team, the way they responded, especially once Domas fouled out?
I did, from the standpoint that our guys found a way to get a win. But, and you got to give them credit. They are talented. They are long. They keep coming at you, and so you give them a lot of credit. But at the end of the day, I think so highly of our guys in their field, their intelligence, and their ability to defend. And so it's as a coach, when you give up 77 points in the second half, when you give up 40 points in the paint in the second half, it's tough because we can play better, and you want your guys to play better. And it's my job to keep pushing them. At the end of the day, you take a win, especially at this point in the year. A win is a win is a win, and you learn from the win. But while you're winning, you hope that you can continue to try to improve and appreciate and embrace the little things that will help you get stops. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I mean, we can score. We've shown we can score, and there's going to be times when the ball's not going in the hole, and that's when your defense really has to step up. And if you can rely on that to a certain degree, man, the sky's the limit.
Mike, in addition to this time of the year being kind of labeled as trade season, this is also kind of like that dog days of the season type year where everything's settled in and you're kind of in the trenches a little bit.
Yeah.
In your assessment, just with the teams that you've worked with, how do the best teams handle this stretch of the season when it gets to that grind? That's
a great question. They usually, those teams have the ability to take it to another level, and not not drastically or dramatically, however you want to call it, but you could just feel those teams tighten up on both sides of the ball just enough to where they could sustain a punch or two, especially if there's a gap in the lead, they can sustain a punch or two from the other team to where the other team knows, okay, this is too hard. We're just going to move on to the next one. And having that feel, that understanding as a group is something that we're searching for right now. We're talented enough, skilled enough to get the win, but can we sustain, if we're up, can we sustain a punch and then a second punch in the second half with some sense of urgency by trying to play the right way and being physical and all that other stuff while getting stops and still getting out and running and having fun on the offensive end of the floor. And that's I think we can, but we have to obviously show it.
Mike, first up, number one, do you have any update on Trey?
I don't. I don't.
Okay. Secondly, we're seeing De'Aaron, walking up those stairs looked a little tough on him. He looks a beat up a little bit, 30 points a game for most of the season. How do you maintain that? How do you try to pull back a little bit or push through when these situations happen where he starts to get a little banged up?
If we can, that's where you try to give him more minutes. And I thought tonight we were going to have the ability to rest him, but obviously with those guys coming back and cutting a double-digit lead fairly quickly in that second half, we had to extend his minutes to get the win. But anytime we can rest him, we're going to sit him down for long stretches so that he doesn't have to play 34, 35, 36 minutes. In the case of the double overtime game a couple of days ago, 40-something minutes. But it's part of being the guy. Everybody that I coached that was of that caliber, they have to go through that. They have to be able to. And obviously, if and when you get a certain age, it gets scaled back, but they have to be able to step up and perform when their body is banged up, and that's what he did tonight.
Coach, another solid night of denying second chance points from a team. How do you feel like you guys have managed to get those periods on possessions and close them out and still maintain your pace?
We've done a decent job of trying to put bodies on bodies. There's still at times, if a team takes a long shot, sometimes we're aggressive going to rebound and we might take too many steps in and it may bounce over our head. But other than that, I got to give our guys credit. They're fighting their tails off on the glass, trying to put bodies on bodies, making it a physical game to limit whoever we're playing's ability to convert missed shots into second points. Thank you, guys. Thanks.